This is the brand new DJI Avata 360. Is it any good? Is it a gimmick? Is it better than the Antigravity? Today we'll answer all of those questions, and if you don't know me, I am Andy. I've flown practically every drone under the sun, from FPV to the normal Avatas to... And so I'll give you my professional opinion on the Avata 360. Let's dive in. Firstly, what the heck are 360 drones? These are very new. The only other 360 drone is the Antigravity A1. And practically just imagine an Osmo 360 or Insta360 X5 flying in the air, and basically that means you can get an infinite amount of possibilities wherever this goes beyond the selfie stick people normally hold and use. Now, lots of people wonder, why would I even need that? The main beauty of this is that you can just fly the drone and you can track anything that goes by it. So you don't actually have to aim the drone, however. For example, I was filming these surfers. I actually didn't really plan to do that, but because you have a 360 world, you can basically reframe the camera to track the surfers after the fact, which is honestly very useful. You could imagine this could even be used in like sporting events. If people dive off a platform, you can just fly the drone up and down, don't even have to look, and you'll get the shots. And the point is, you can just get millions of different shots out of one flight, and you quite possibly will never miss a shot again, as long as your 360-degree video is running, because you're capturing everything. Now, that's the theory. Is this any good in practice? Let's talk about it. First of all, to fly the Avata 360, you need either the normal controller. This is the same controller as basically any Mini 5 Pro, for example, and you just fly it like a practically normal drone, or you can wear some goggles, the N3 goggles or the version 2, whatever they're called, and you use the classic DJI dildo controller, the motion controller, and you can just point this and fly exactly like a normal Avata in the motion controller mode. People might wonder, can you fly this acro? And no, you cannot fly a 360-degree drone in acro. The reason for that is you need a live feed, right? And this, if you have a look right here, there is no live feed camera for this Avata 360. It's just got two huge 360 cameras. Overall, it would have been nice to fly acro, but I can understand why they don't. Now let's talk about the main attraction here, which is what camera quality we have. So this is practically a 1-inch sensor. I think it's the same specs as the Action 6, 1/1.1 inches. They're square, there's two of them, and they are huge. And that gives you a gorgeous 8K video. And you might ask, oh, all these Insta360 cameras, the Antigravity A1 can all shoot 8K, but not all 8K and not all 4K is built the same. Bit rates matter, and a little bit of a teaser is that this quality is much better than the Antigravity A1. The quality is definitely among the best of 360 cameras in general. Now let's talk about the actual performance of the drone. I think it flies really well. I do think it's slightly bigger than the normal Avata 2, but not by much. But with that being said, it flies genuinely quite fast. I was quite surprised with the performance, and given I'm not shooting acro, there's no yaw, tumble or roll, if anyone was worried about that. I think a standout here is that the DJI obstacle sensing, you can actually fly very close to things with the actual sensors on, and that actually gives you a lot of insurance and peace of mind that's with these sensors on, you will not crash. When I was flying, I actually just left the sensors on. I didn't want to risk sport mode because I can't lose this drone, but you still got fairly close, as you can see in the clips, which I was still very impressed by. Now let's talk about what's bad about the drone. We kind of mentioned it, we can't acro, that's a bit of a bummer. If you could use acro and fly full FPV, you could get some crazy shots, some even better 360, have more control, but alas, we cannot. Maybe next generation, who knows? The lenses do get scratched easily, right? There's two on here, and I don't know how this happened. I haven't even crashed this, I promise you, but there's already some scratch forming. Like maybe the cover fell off in my bag and somehow scratched onto something. So you can actually replace the lenses, but obviously you don't want to be flying through replacements every 2 seconds. That could be user error on my behalf, but that is a bit annoying. I will say sometimes you can kind of see a little outline when you fly through things, and then once the drone stops, because there is like one axis here that kind of corrects for shakes, you can kind of see that the line moves up and down depending on how fast and slow your drone's going. So when it brakes, you can kind of tell the camera moves up and the line kind of moves up, but ideally you just fly along in a straight line with nice slow movements. One other disadvantage on the 360 system on DJI is that I do think the Insta360 Studio versus the DJI Fly app, whatever it's called, is a little bit better in terms of ease of use. Not by much, but there's little features here and there like saving the keyframes for each individual clip that I do personally like a little bit more, whereas on this you have to put everything on a timeline, which realistically I like to export my videos and then put them in DaVinci Resolve, for example. A lot of these things are fairly minor, and that's kind of just the disadvantages itself of having a 360 drone. But overall, I'm quite happy. Now let's talk about the Antigravity A1 and compare this. And I will say the 8K video is a lot better on this guy. There is a couple times on the Antigravity A1 that the corners, once you zoom or keyframe anything, that the quality does diminish quite quickly. I will also say when I was flying the Antigravity A1, there was like definitely stutters and lags in the live feed, which kind of detracts from the experience. The 04 transmission works really well. I feel like the signal wasn't as strong as well on the Antigravity. I barely flew. It was kind of starting to cut out. Whereas this, you can fly very far. There are brief moments where there are trees in the way, and that was completely fine. And on the controller, there were definitely no lags or stutters in the live feed. When we talk about the transmission, the goggles give you a cool experience on the Antigravity A1 where you can look around and fly. That is quite unique, and there is none of that on the 360 drone. It's kind of more about the shot and less about the experience. But realistically, people probably want to get a nice shot more so than they want to just look around and be a drone, for example. And now the big elephant in the room is that Antigravity is way more expensive than the Avata 360. With its full combo for both and maybe the standard combo on the A1, that thing's still like 600 Australian dollars more, right? You can imagine how many US dollars that is, probably like 400 more, for example. And that is a lot. And honestly, I think now that you have something to compare it to, it is quite overpriced, right? Just on price alone, you'd probably buy this every day of the week. So just pretty blatantly, if I had to choose, I'd definitely pick this one. You can't beat the price or the quality of the Avata 360. Overall, what is the verdict? Is this legit? Is 360 the future? I think it is a bit more of a niche product. It is a very cool filmmaking tool. It's not that expensive, it's in a reasonable price range in my opinion, and it really just adds a different angle to your filmmaking. You can do those cool effects, which I did, where you have like duplicated horizons, which is really cool too. And just overall, it's a fun drone to fly. The possibilities really are endless when you're shooting 360, and there are lots of use cases which this would be very beneficial. For example, if you're chasing drifting cars, just kind of follow and then you can reframe and post and it'll look really cool. It's got all the pro DJI tracking, the active track mode, the great quality, the great range. And I will say, now looking back, it is a better, more refined product than the A1. So if you're someone who wants to expand the film kit, film some skiers or some athletes with 360, or just want to express himself more creatively, this is definitely the drone for you. If you made it this far, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.